Did you know that by the time you reach 80, you may have already lost up to half of your muscle mass compared to when you were younger? This condition, known as sarcopenia, silently robs millions of seniors of their independence every year. It affects over 50 million older adults worldwide. In fact, falls caused by weakened muscles send more than 300,000 seniors to the hospital annually. But here's the shocking part. According to the Journal of Physiology, recent research challenges the belief that such extreme muscle loss is inevitable. Some individuals in their 70s still possess the strength, function, and even appearance of someone decades younger. While most people their age struggle with basic tasks like standing up from a chair or climbing stairs, these outliers maintain full independence well into their 90s and often outperform people half their age in strength tests. They continue to hike, play sports, and live active, fulfilling lives. So, what's their secret? Believe it or not, 93% of seniors are unaware of the daily habits that can dramatically slow down, or even reverse, age-related muscle decline. But here's what most people, and even many doctors, don't know. Researchers at the Mayo Clinic have identified a powerful habit that can help seniors regain lost muscle mass, even well into their 70s and 80s. Shockingly, most physicians never mention it to their older patients. Even more surprising, researchers at Harvard Medical School have found that what science actually confirms as essential for preserving strength as we age often contradicts common medical advice. So, keep watching, because the very first habit we'll cover is likely something you're doing wrong every single day. And this simple mistake may be accelerating muscle loss by activating harmful genetic pathways. Correcting it could be the difference between living independently during your golden years or depending on others for basic tasks. Before we dive in, make sure to like this video, subscribe to our channel, and let us know in the comments where you're watching from. Now, let's get started. The seventh habit is called hormetic stress, and it's one of the most surprising things that strong, healthy 80-year-olds have in common. Hormetic stress refers to exposing the body to controlled, low levels of stress that actually make it stronger over time. It's the biological version of the saying, "What doesn't kill you makes you stronger." According to the Buck Institute for Research on Aging, short bursts of specific stressors activate powerful cellular defense systems. These systems can not only preserve muscle function, but also stimulate new muscle growth, even in people well into their 80s. One of the most effective forms of hormetic stress is temperature variation. Superagers, those rare individuals who stay physically strong late into life, regularly use cold exposure to their advantage. Ending a shower with 30 to 60 seconds of cold water or taking brief cold plunges can activate brown fat, boost mitochondrial biogenesis, and trigger the release of adiponectin, a hormone that protects muscle tissue from breaking down. On the flip side, heat exposure through saunas or hot tubs also works wonders. It activates heat shock proteins that help repair and shield muscle cells from damage. A long-term Finnish study found that regular sauna use, defined as 4 to 7 sessions per week, was associated with 40% less muscle loss compared to those who didn't use saunas at all. This highlights just how powerful temperature-based hormetic stress can be in preserving muscle as we age. The second powerful form of hormetic stress used by superagers is intermittent fasting, or time-restricted eating. Instead of eating throughout the day, they limit food intake to a narrow window of just 8 to 10 hours. This method doesn't cause weight loss, but it dramatically improves muscle quality and boosts a process called autophagy, the body's natural way of cleaning out damaged cells. According to research from the Salk Institute, this approach can enhance mitochondrial function in muscles by up to 10% in just 12 weeks. The third form of hormetic stress is one you might not expect: brief but intense muscle contractions. Superagers often engage in a method known as overcoming isometrics, where they push or pull against immovable objects with maximum effort for 5 to 10 seconds. These explosive efforts send a strong signal to muscle cells, helping to keep them large, active, and strong, without stressing the joints like traditional weightlifting might. What makes these stressors so effective is their short, infrequent nature. The key lies in brief exposure, followed by proper recovery. When done correctly, these controlled stressors activate powerful longevity genes, such as FOXO and sirtuins, which are directly involved in maintaining muscle mass as we age. Start slow and ease your way into these habits. Over time, your body will adapt, and you'll begin to build resilience, strength, and vitality well beyond what most expect at your age. You don't want to overwhelm your system. What you're aiming for is gentle, helpful stress that your body can adapt to and grow from. Now, let's move on to the 6th habit: protein timing. While many seniors focus on how much protein they eat, research suggests that when you eat protein may be even more important. As we age, our bodies become less efficient at processing protein, a phenomenon scientists call anabolic resistance. According to research published in the Journal of Nutrition, consuming all your protein in one sitting, typically dinner, is a common mistake that limits muscle growth. Here's the crucial insight. Your muscles enter a window of opportunity for protein synthesis about 3 to 4 hours after each meal. But if you only eat significant protein once a day, you're missing those valuable windows earlier in the day. The key is to distribute your protein intake evenly across all meals. Aim to consume 25 to 30 grams of high-quality protein at breakfast, lunch, and dinner. For breakfast, ditch the toast or cereal and try eggs, Greek yogurt, or a protein smoothie. Continue the trend at lunch and dinner with lean meats, fish, dairy, or plant-based options like lentils and beans. This simple scheduling shift, spreading your protein intake throughout the day instead of concentrating it, can increase muscle protein synthesis by as much as 25% in just 12 weeks. A study from the University of Texas found that participants who followed this protein timing strategy gained an average of 1.2 pounds of muscle without changing any other aspect of their lifestyle. So if you want to strengthen your muscles or stop them from wasting away, it's not just about how much protein you eat, it's about when you eat it. Now let's move to habit number 5, optimizing vitamin D levels. Often overlooked, vitamin D, also known as the muscle vitamin, is deficient in over 80% of the elderly population. This widespread deficiency is a silent killer of strength. While most people associate vitamin D with bone health, its role in muscle development is just as critical. Researchers at Harvard University discovered that vitamin D activates key genes involved in muscle growth and repair. Your muscle cells actually have receptors for vitamin D, and when these are triggered, they initiate essential processes that help maintain muscle mass. A groundbreaking study published in JAMA Internal Medicine revealed that seniors with optimal vitamin D levels had 25% greater muscle strength than those who were deficient. Even more impressively, they also had significantly better reaction times, balance, and coordination, all crucial for preventing falls and maintaining independence. Vitamin D deficiency is defined as blood levels below 20 nanograms per milliliter. In contrast, superagers, those who seem to defy the aging process, almost always have levels above 40 nanograms per milliliter. So how can you get enough? While sun exposure helps, it becomes less effective with age. In fact, by the time you're 65, your skin produces 50% less vitamin D compared to when you were 20. That's why supplementation becomes essential. The typical daily recommendation of 600 IU is often not enough for seniors, and most people need more to reach optimal levels. Although individual needs may vary, research shows that most seniors require between 2,000 and 4,000 international units of vitamin D per day to reach optimal levels. It's best to personalize your intake based on a blood test. In the meantime, You can boost your vitamin D naturally by including rich food sources in your diet, such as fatty fish, egg yolks, and fortified dairy products, and by getting 15 to 20 minutes of direct midday sunlight if possible. But here's an important caution. Without sufficient vitamin K2, high doses of vitamin D may do more harm than good. Vitamin K2, found in fermented foods and certain animal products, works alongside vitamin D to ensure calcium is directed to the bones, not the arteries. Without it, calcium may build up in the blood vessels, leading to dangerous calcification. This often overlooked nutrient interaction could be the critical factor in your success. That's why it's so important to consult your doctor for a simple blood test. Then aim to keep your vitamin D levels above 40 nanograms per milliliter to help prevent muscle loss. Habit number 4, managing inflammation. One thing that the strongest, healthiest elderly people have in common is low levels of chronic inflammation. Researchers have coined the term inflammaging to describe the slow, silent inflammatory process that accelerates muscle breakdown as we age. This constant low-grade inflammation causes muscle proteins to break down faster than the body can rebuild them. Worse yet, it blocks the body's anabolic signals, the very signals that should be stimulating muscle growth in response to exercise and protein intake. According to a pivotal study from Tufts University, seniors with the highest markers of inflammation lost muscle mass 3 times faster than those with the lowest levels, regardless of how much protein they ate or how often they exercised. So how do superagers fight back? One of their top strategies is prioritizing high-quality sleep. They go to bed at the same time every night and make sure they sleep in a completely dark room, allowing the body to recover and regulate inflammation naturally. Lack of sleep can speed up muscle atrophy by increasing the levels of inflammatory cytokines by as much as 40%. In addition to good sleep, superagers also focus on their gut health, which plays a critical role in reducing inflammation. Alterations in gut flora as we age are linked directly to systemic inflammation, according to recent research from the University of California. The diets of superagers are rich in plant-based foods, aiming for 30 or more servings per week, along with fermented foods like yogurt, kefir, and sauerkraut, which provide natural probiotics and a variety of fiber sources. These daily habits help keep their digestive systems healthy and inflammation levels low. When it comes to exercise, superagers also plan their workouts carefully. Regular movement is crucial, but they avoid intense, high-impact exercises that could increase inflammation. Instead, the average superager works out at a moderate level most days, with a couple of brief, intense intervals each week. In addition to their exercise routine, they incorporate anti-inflammatory substances into their diets, such as omega-3 fatty acids, 2 to 3 grams per day from fatty fish or supplements, curcumin from turmeric, and polyphenol-rich foods like berries, green tea, and extra virgin olive oil. Studies from the University of California show that shifts in gut bacteria related to aging can increase inflammation by as much as 29% in just 12 weeks. To track inflammation, an easy blood test measuring high sensitivity, C-reactive protein, HSCRP, is helpful. Superagers tend to keep their inflammation levels below 1.0 milligrams per liter, a stark contrast to ordinary seniors, who often have levels 3 to 5 times higher. Finally, Principle 3, taking a specific vitamin every day. While most dietary advice focuses on macronutrients like proteins, carbs, and fats, superagers are mindful of the micronutrients that support protein synthesis and muscle function. These essential vitamins and minerals act as facilitators, ensuring your body makes the most of the protein you consume and the benefits of exercise. Without these essential micronutrients, no amount of protein or exercise will prevent muscle loss. Researchers from the University of Vermont have dubbed magnesium the forgotten electrolyte when it comes to muscle health, and for good reason. This mineral is vital for more than 300 enzymatic reactions involved in muscle function, yet over 70% of the elderly population is deficient in it. A 2021 study published in the American Journal of Clinical Nutrition showed that seniors with adequate magnesium levels had 30% stronger grips and significantly better physical performance than those whose magnesium levels were even slightly low. In addition to supplementing with magnesium in highly bioavailable forms, such as glycinate or threonate, superagers typically consume magnesium-rich foods daily, such as dark leafy greens, nuts, seeds, and dark chocolate. Next is creatine, a supplement often associated with bodybuilding, but it's not just for beginners. Research has shown that creatine supplementation, ranging from 3 to 5 grams daily, substantially improves muscle mass, strength, and cognitive function in older adults. A 2015 study by McMaster University found that creatine can enhance muscle energy generation and water content in muscle cells, creating an anabolic environment conducive to muscle growth. Methylated B12 is also crucial. As we age, our stomach acid production declines, reducing our ability to absorb B12. This becomes even more problematic with common medications like proton pump inhibitors and metformin, which deplete B12 levels. This vital vitamin plays a significant role in both neuronal function and muscle energy generation. Superagers typically supplement with methylcobalamin, the active form of B12, instead of the cheaper cyanocobalamin found in many multivitamins. Minerals such as zinc, selenium, and chromium are also essential in facilitating protein synthesis and insulin sensitivity, two key factors for nutrient transport to muscle tissue. A study by Tufts University revealed that optimal levels of these trace minerals were associated with a 22% increase in muscle mass retention over a 5-year period. Micronutrient testing helps superagers pinpoint their unique nutritional gaps so they can target supplements more precisely, saving money and avoiding unnecessary treatments. Finally, habit number 2, preserving your neuromuscular connections. Here's a fact many seniors don't realize. Muscle atrophy affects more than just the muscle fibers themselves. The real problem often lies in the neuromuscular junctions, the outlets that connect muscles to the nervous system. These junctions degrade faster after the age of 60, making it harder for the brain to communicate with the muscles. Without proper neuromuscular health, even the most rigorous diet and exercise routines won't prevent muscle loss. Fortunately, superagers are proactive about maintaining these connections. New research from the University of Michigan suggests that superagers have far better neuromuscular connections than the average senior. Even more exciting, researchers have identified behaviors that can preserve or even repair these vital connections. One of the most effective methods involves engaging in activities that require coordination and precise execution of movements. Studies show that activities such as Tai Chi, dancing, tennis, or even ping pong can enhance the brain's pathways to muscles, strengthening neuromuscular connections. These exercises require the nervous system to recruit muscle fibers in specific patterns, making them far more beneficial than traditional strength training or walking alone. In 2020, researchers found that older adults who participated in coordination-demanding activities twice a week preserved their neuromuscular connections 31% better than those who stuck to conventional exercises. In addition to physical activity, certain chemicals are known to promote neuromuscular health. Alpha-lipoic acid and acetyl L-carnitine, for example, can prevent oxidative damage to the nerve muscle link. Even more promising is the discovery that certain forms of vitamin B1, like benfotiamine and huperzine found in Chinese club moss, can boost acetylcholine, the neurotransmitter responsible for muscle activation. Breathing techniques also play a key role. Superagers often practice simple techniques that stimulate the vagus nerve, which helps regulate neuromuscular transmission. As little as 5 minutes a day of breathing exercises, such as box breathing, inhale for 4 counts, hold for 4, exhale for 4, hold for 4, can increase neural activation of muscles by as much as 15%. Perhaps most intriguingly, research from Columbia University shows a strong connection between mental activity and the maintenance of neuromuscular connections. Older adults who engaged in challenging cognitive pursuits, such as puzzles, learning new skills, or reading, had much better preserved muscle function. This is likely because the neuromuscular system and the brain share many neural pathways, meaning that stimulating one can benefit the other. The researchers found that brain training had a direct positive effect on the neuromuscular system. Using these neuromuscular preservation techniques, superagers can keep their brain connections strong well into their 80s and beyond, allowing them to recruit muscle fibers efficiently. First habit, resistance exercise that builds over time. The most crucial habit that distinguishes exceptionally strong 80-year-olds from their counterparts is resistance training. Experts at Tufts University have even deemed it the most powerful anti-aging drug ever discovered. We've now arrived at this habit, resistance training, that builds upon itself, but not in the manner that most seniors do it. The superagers, whose strength levels defy their age, fight the biological processes of muscle atrophy in a unique way. Most seniors never learn this fundamental truth. Your muscles operate according to the use it or lose it principle, but with a crucial exception. In order to maintain them, you must gradually challenge them. Simply keeping up with the same modest weights week after week won't suffice. How is the method used by superagers unique? Intensity, not duration. Superagers emphasize intensity, not duration. Research from McMaster University found that 2 weeks of high-intensity resistance training to the point of failure resulted in greater muscle gains than 5 weeks of moderate intensity exercise. The key is to get to the point where you can't perform another repetition with proper form. This is called transient muscle failure, which triggers protein synthesis in muscles for up to 72 hours, promoting growth. Compound movements. Superagers focus on compound exercises that involve multiple muscle groups such as squats, deadlifts, rows, and presses. These movements produce a stronger hormonal response than isolated actions like bicep curls or leg extensions, and they take joint mobility and health into account. Progressive overload. Superagers understand the importance of progressive overload, gradually increasing the difficulty level over time. Sticking with the same weights month after month causes stagnation because muscles adapt to the stress they're under. Keeping track of workouts and pushing yourself to do just a little more each time keeps muscles progressing. Eccentric focus. They also place emphasis on the eccentric, lowering phase of exercises, which has been shown to be particularly effective for strengthening muscles in the elderly. Lowering weights slowly puts more strain on muscles while being gentler on joints. Amazingly, this method works even for people who feel they're running behind schedule. A 12-week program of progressive resistance training has been shown to increase strength by 35% and add an average of 3.3 pounds of muscle in older adults. Along with these remarkable changes, there were also improvements in cognitive function, bone density, and blood glucose control. What then is the most typical mistake that retirees make? Many believe that resistance exercise is too risky or old-fashioned for them. The real hazard, however, lies in the fact that avoiding resistance training will only accelerate muscle loss, increasing the risk of fragility, falls, and loss of independence. Get into the habit of progressive resistance training. If you do only one thing from this video, make sure it's this. To ensure you're doing everything correctly, see a trainer first, then gradually work up to the appropriate intensity for your fitness level. Achieving just 2 30-minute sessions per week can have a profound impact on how quickly you age. Here they are, the 7 research-backed practices that account for the remarkable muscular strength that some 80-year-olds maintain. Pick one habit you can easily implement today and work your way up to the others. Putting effort into building your strength and independence today will pay dividends in the long run. It's time for you to speak up. Are you currently engaging in any of these 7 habits? If so, which one caught you by surprise? Is there an elderly person in your life who possesses remarkable strength considering their age? Leave a comment below and tell us about yourself and your thoughts. Please share them with us. Much obliged for your time.